Welcome, my dear. You are in a gentle space now, a space where you are held with kindness, with understanding, and with deep compassion. Take a breath. You have made it here for a reason. There is something inside you that has always longed for more love, more peace, more safety in your own heart. And even if that longing has been buried under years of pain or silence or pretending to be fine when you were not, I want you to know this. It is never too late to give yourself the love you didn't receive. There is no blame here. This is not a place for pointing fingers or carrying old shame. It is a place to begin again, with gentleness. Many of us were not shown what real love looks like. Maybe we were taught that love was something to be earned, or that we had to behave a certain way, achieve certain things, or hide parts of ourselves just to feel worthy. Some were raised in homes where love was conditional. If we pleased others, we were accepted. If we spoke our truth, we were punished. Others were simply overlooked, not held enough, not heard enough, not told that we were precious simply because we exist. And that kind of lack, it leaves a quiet ache inside. An ache that shows up in the ways we speak to ourselves, in the way we treat our bodies, in the way we shrink or stay silent or choose people who cannot love us back. But what if I told you that the ache is not who you are? It's only a message from your soul, a whisper that says, I need love. And the beautiful part is, you have the power to give it now. Right here, in this very moment, you are allowed to soften. You are allowed to feel everything that once had no space. Maybe you've been strong for so long that softness feels unfamiliar. Maybe you were told to toughen up, to stop crying, to keep going no matter what. But your healing begins when you stop and say, I deserve love. Not just from the world around you, but from your own heart. Because when you learn how to be the love that was never shown to you, everything changes. You become a safe place. You become your own shelter. You speak kindly to the mirror instead of harshly. You pause before rushing into someone else's expectations. You begin to listen to your own needs and answer them, not with judgment, but with care. You start to see that the love you were denied does not define your worth. It never did. It simply showed you how important love truly is. So today, I invite you to notice the parts of you that feel neglected, not to fix them, not to shame them, just to see them. They've been waiting for your attention, and in that seeing, you start the most sacred journey, becoming the love you always needed. Let's take another breath together. As you exhale, say gently to yourself, I am learning to love myself in all the ways I was never loved. Let this be the beginning of something new, a quiet revolution in your heart. There are moments when we wonder why love didn't come the way we needed, why the arms that were supposed to hold us weren't there, why the words we long to hear, I'm proud of you, you are enough, I love you just as you are, were never spoken. And as children, we don't know how to understand that. We don't have the tools to say they were struggling or they didn't know better. All we feel is the emptiness, and that emptiness can become a belief that says maybe I wasn't worth loving. But my dear, that belief is a lie that got planted long ago, not because it was true, but because no one helped you uproot it. The truth is, you were always lovable, even in your tears, even when you made mistakes, even when no one showed up. That love was never meant to be earned. It was your birthright. Still, when love isn't shown to us, it changes how we see the world. It makes us wary, guarded, unsure. We may stop trusting others, but even more painfully, we may stop trusting ourselves. We second-guess our feelings. We stay in places that hurt because we think we don't deserve better. We become experts at caretaking others, but forget how to care for our own hearts. And underneath all of that, a deep, sacred longing, a longing to be held, to be seen, to be told, you matter. That longing is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is your heart remembering what it was always meant to feel. Some of us carry this wound silently. We smile, we succeed, we support others, and yet we carry the ache. Some of us distract ourselves, staying busy so we don't have to feel. Others of us have turned our pain inward, criticizing ourselves for not being happy, for not being healed enough. But my love, healing isn't about perfection. It's about honesty. It's about sitting with your own soul and saying, I see you. I'm here now, and I'm not leaving. You don't need anyone else's permission to heal. You don't need anyone else's apology to begin. You are allowed to give yourself the love that never arrived. You are allowed to begin right here. And how do we begin? We begin by softening the way we speak to ourselves. We begin by giving to our own hearts what we once hoped the world would give us. That is how we reparent the parts of us that were forgotten. That is how we become the love we were waiting for. Start small. Start gently. Maybe it's placing your hand on your heart each morning and saying, I am loved. I am worthy. I am safe. Maybe it's taking a moment each evening to thank your body for carrying you through the day. Maybe it's allowing yourself to rest without guilt or saying no without shame. These are acts of love. These are the seeds that grow into a life of peace. And sometimes that little voice inside will resist. It will say, but I've never done this before. That's okay. New love always feels tender at first, but the more you practice, the more familiar it becomes. And before long, your inner world begins to change. The harsh critic quiets, the self-doubt softens, and in its place, a new voice rises. A voice that says, I am here, I matter, I am loved. You don't need to fix yourself to be loved. You only need to see yourself, and love begins in that seeing. There is a light inside you that has never gone out, not even in the darkest times. That light is the part of you that still believes in love, that still longs for gentleness, that still hopes. And I want you to know that light is enough to guide you home. When you choose to love yourself, you are not being selfish. You are being brave. You are rewriting the story. You are saying, the love that was denied to me will not stop me from loving myself now. And that is power, quiet, sacred power. You are worthy of love, not someday, not when you've healed, not when you've done more, given more, become more. You are worthy right now, as you are, with every breath, every heartbeat, every moment of this precious life. You are worthy. So let your healing begin, not with a dramatic change, but with a simple truth. I can love myself now. Say it aloud if you can. Whisper it. Write it. Let it echo gently inside you. Because the most beautiful journey you will ever take is the journey back to yourself, to your heart, to the love that lives within you. And step by step, breath by breath, you will remember, you are love. You always have been. You always will be. There is a quiet power that begins to grow the moment you choose to turn inward, not to judge or fix yourself, but to nurture and soothe the parts of you that have been waiting for love. This is where something extraordinary happens. You begin to reparent your own heart. You may have never been shown how to speak to yourself with kindness. You may have learned to ignore your needs or dismiss your emotions, thinking they were too much. But now you get to be the one who offers comfort, tenderness, and unconditional presence to the parts of you that were once silenced or ignored. This is not about pretending the pain never happened. It's about meeting that pain with compassion. The heart doesn't heal through force. It heals through understanding. So, begin with a simple intention each day. I will treat myself the way I always wished someone would. Not because you're broken, but because you deserve to feel whole. This new relationship with yourself is gentle. It grows slowly, like a soft morning light filling a room. You may not feel it all at once, but with each kind word, with each moment of patience, something within you begins to shift. And when it does, you begin to experience what it feels like to be safe with yourself, to trust yourself, to love without needing to earn it. The thoughts you think are the food you feed your spirit. If those thoughts are harsh or critical, they wear you down. But when they are loving and encouraging, they nourish your whole being. So ask yourself now, how do I speak to myself when I'm hurting, when I'm tired, when I'm not perfect? That voice matters. It shapes your energy, your choices, your peace. You don't have to change your entire life overnight. You simply begin by choosing different thoughts. When the old patterns rise, the ones that say you're not good enough or lovable, pause, take a breath, and speak a new truth. I am learning. I am growing. I am lovable just as I am. Say it again, not as a wish, but as a fact. Let your body hear it. Let your heart feel it. Let your spirit rest in it. Because the way you talk to yourself becomes the way you live inside your own skin. And this is where mirror work can become a beautiful doorway. Each day, stand in front of your mirror. Look into your own eyes. Even if it feels strange at first, even if your inner voice wants to resist, just stand there and say something kind, something true, something healing. Perhaps, I see you. You are worthy of love. I will take care of you now. It's not about how long you say it or how perfect you sound. It's about creating a new habit of love, one moment at a time. The mirror reflects more than your face. It reflects the relationship you're building with yourself. Let it be a relationship filled with respect and kindness. Healing the heart isn't a destination. It's a daily choice, a moment-to-moment practice. Some days it's easy, some days it's not. But every time you choose love instead of criticism, gentleness instead of judgment, you grow stronger in your own light. That light begins to warm every corner of your life. And you realize, I don't need to wait for someone else to love me the way I need. I can love myself right now. Deep within you lives a younger part of yourself, a version of you that still holds the memories, the hopes, and the disappointments of the past. This inner child may have been unseen or unheard. Maybe they learned to stay quiet, to stay safe. Maybe they were told their feelings were too much. And now, even in adulthood, that child still longs to be noticed, to be embraced, to be told, you matter. This part of you doesn't want perfection. It simply wants presence, a gentle voice, a warm hand, a safe place to rest, and you can be that place. You can hold your inner child the way you wish someone once held you. You don't need a special moment to begin. You only need willingness. Sit quietly, place your hand over your heart, and breathe. Let your mind picture your younger self, maybe as a small child, maybe as a teen. Notice how they look. Notice how they feel. And then gently say within, I see you. I hear you. I love you. Let the words be soft. Let them be real. This is not imagination. This is healing, because the love you offer now reaches into the spaces that were once empty. And each time you do this, you remind yourself that it is never too late to feel seen. Sometimes this work brings up tears. That's okay. Those tears are not weakness. They are a sign that something frozen is beginning to thaw, that the heart is waking up, that the soul is being touched. Let the tears come. Let them wash away the old beliefs that said you had to be strong all the time, or that your feelings didn't matter. They do. You do. You can even write to your inner child. Take a piece of paper and begin with, "Dear one, I'm here now." And let the words flow. Tell them what they always needed to hear. Offer them the love that wasn't spoken before. This is not about the past. It's about the present, about your power now, about becoming a gentle guardian to your own heart. There is something deeply sacred in this process. As you nurture your inner child, your whole being begins to relax. The anxiety softens. The tension eases. You no longer feel like you're fighting for love. You are giving it freely to yourself. And with each moment of connection, you begin to rebuild trust. Trust in your feelings. Trust in your intuition. Trust in your right to feel safe and cherished. That little one inside begins to rise with confidence. And you, the adult you, become more grounded, more peaceful, more whole. You may not always feel ready. You may feel doubt. That's all right. Love does not require perfection, only presence, only sincerity. And the beautiful truth is this: the more you love your inner child, the more the world around you begins to feel less threatening. You no longer search for approval in every face. You no longer bend yourself to fit where you don't belong, because you know now you belong to yourself. You are loved by the one who matters most, you. Let this be your daily practice. Close your eyes, find your breath, and whisper gently, "You are safe with me. I will love you now and always." In that moment, something begins to bloom, something long awaited, something called peace. There is a story you've carried for so long, a story shaped by experiences, by silence, by wounds that never had a voice. This story may say that you are unlovable, that you must earn affection, that you are too much or never enough. It may echo through your mind like an old song, playing again and again without question. But today, I want you to know, you are allowed to release that story. You are allowed to let it go, not because it wasn't real, but because it is no longer needed. It is no longer who you are. The mind often holds onto stories for safety, even painful ones, because they are familiar. But familiarity does not mean truth. And when we begin to question those old beliefs, when we look at them with gentle awareness, we realize that many of them were never ours to begin with. Maybe someone told you that you weren't good enough. Maybe life circumstances taught you to expect little. Maybe the people who should have protected you did not. But none of that was your fault, and none of that defines your value. So let's begin to loosen the grip of those stories, one small step at a time. You can start by writing them down. Take a quiet moment and ask yourself, what beliefs have I been carrying that no longer serve me? Let them come to the surface. No judgment, just honesty. Write them out, look at them, and then choose to release them. You might tear up the paper. You might speak the words aloud. I release this story. I choose a new one now. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It only has to be sincere. Because the truth is, you get to decide what story you tell yourself. You get to choose thoughts that are loving, kind, and supportive. You get to say, I am lovable, I am worthy, I am enough. And the more you say it, the more it becomes your new truth. There may be moments when the old story returns. That's okay. It's just the echo of the past. You don't have to believe it anymore. You can notice it, thank it for its role, and let it pass. and in its place, you plant a new seed, a seed of love, a seed of possibility, a seed of self-respect. Let yourself feel how different that is, how empowering, no longer bound by what was, free to choose what is. The past may have shaped you, but it does not own you. You are the author now, and your new story begins with love, with truth, with the quiet, steady decision to be good to yourself from this moment forward. So whisper to your heart, I release what no longer belongs to me. I welcome the love I've always deserved. And with that, you take another step toward freedom, another breath toward peace, another moment of remembering who you truly are. There is a quiet shift that begins to happen when love becomes a practice, not just a feeling. When instead of waiting for someone else to make us feel worthy, we begin to show up for ourselves. This is the heart of creating new emotional habits, habits that nourish, uplift, and root us in self-trust. So much of our life is shaped by patterns we didn't choose. If love was inconsistent, we may find ourselves walking on eggshells, seeking approval in places where it's never fully given. If love was absent, we might pour endlessly into others, hoping someone will finally see us. But now, with awareness, we are gifted with something precious: choice. The choice to create habits that center your own emotional well-being. Let these habits be small and sacred. Begin your day with kindness. Before the world speaks to you, speak to yourself. Greet the morning with a hand on your heart and say, today, I will treat myself with care. That one sentence, spoken daily, can begin to untangle years of harsh self-talk. Throughout your day, check in with yourself as you would with someone you love. Not to fix, but to notice. How am I feeling? What do I need? These are powerful questions. They bring you back to yourself. They remind you that you matter. Make rest a priority, not a reward. Make nourishment a ritual, not a chore. And let pleasure return to your life, not as something to earn, but something to receive, simply because you are alive. Emotional habits are not just routines. They are declarations. They say, I am here for myself. When the old habits rise, overgiving, people-pleasing, self-neglect, you don't have to judge them. Just notice them and gently choose again. Each time you pause and respond to yourself with tenderness, you rewrite the emotional rhythm of your life. The nervous system calms, the breath deepens, the mind begins to trust. You become a safe place, first for yourself and eventually for others too. Let this be a habit, offering yourself words of love every day, even if it feels unfamiliar, even if your voice trembles. Say, I am building a new relationship with myself, and say it often, because the more you say it, the more real it becomes. Love is not a one-time event. It is a series of moments where you choose to come home to yourself again and again. And with every choice, you are creating a new life, one rooted in softness, safety, and self-acceptance. What does it feel like to be loved, not by someone else, but by your own heart? Feel that now. Imagine that love surrounding you like a soft light, wrapping you in warmth. This is what you are learning to give yourself, and this is what you deserve. There's a feeling that arises when you've truly made space for self-love in your life. It's not loud, it's not flashy, it's gentle, like a calm ocean after a storm. It's the feeling of coming home to yourself, of knowing that no matter what's happening around you, you are your own sanctuary. This kind of love is not conditional. It doesn't say, I will love myself when I am better, thinner, more successful, more loved by others. This love says, I love myself as I am, right here, right now. It's a love that doesn't rush or demand. It's a love that stays. When you begin to live from this place, your whole life softens. The anxiety that once told you to do more and be more begins to lose its grip. You breathe easier. You say no without guilt. You rest without apology. You speak up, not to prove yourself, but to honor yourself. And the world responds to this shift, not because you've changed who you are, but because you've remembered who you are. Your energy becomes clearer. Your boundaries become kinder. Your choices reflect your worth. There is a beauty in knowing that love can grow within you, even if it was never modeled for you. That you can become what you never received. That you can give to yourself the very thing your soul has been craving. Let this love be your compass. If a thought doesn't feel loving, question it. If a habit doesn't reflect love, change it. If a relationship doesn't honor your worth, trust your knowing. You are no longer living in reaction to the past. You are responding to the present with love. Let yourself be proud, not because you've done everything perfectly, but because you are showing up for yourself in ways you never have before. That is something to celebrate. That is healing in action. You may find that life feels more peaceful now, more grounded, more whole, not because everything is perfect, but because you are no longer abandoning yourself. You are staying. And in that staying, you are building a foundation that cannot be shaken. Let your breath be a reminder. Every inhale is a gift. Every exhale a release. Breathe in love. Breathe out anything that no longer belongs. You are becoming the love you always needed, and that love is changing everything. When love becomes your foundation, you no longer search for it in desperation. You become it. You walk through the world with an open heart, not because you need validation, but because your cup is full, and it's here, in this fullness, that something sacred happens. You stop chasing love. You begin radiating it. You no longer give to be chosen. You give because it feels good to express love. You no longer shrink to fit. You expand to be free. There is such power in no longer needing others to define your worth, in no longer looking for approval in places that cannot offer it. You know now, your worth is not up for debate. Your value is not dependent on how much you give or how little you ask. Your presence alone is enough. This doesn't mean you close your heart to the world. It means you open it with discernment, with care, with truth. You choose connections that honor your light. You say yes when it feels right and no when it doesn't. You walk away from what hurts, not out of bitterness, but out of love for yourself. This is what happens when you become a beacon. Love flows to you and from you, not as performance, but as essence. You no longer live in fear of being alone because you have discovered the joy of your own company. You no longer feel unworthy because you've built a relationship with yourself that is rooted in truth. Let yourself feel how powerful that is. Let yourself rest in the knowing that you don't need to become someone else to be lovable. You already are. You have always been enough. You've always carried the seeds of your own healing, and now they are blooming. With every step you've taken to love yourself, to hold your heart with care, you've been planting a new future, and that future is bright, not because it's free of challenges, but because you meet those challenges with love, with presence, with grace. So if ever you feel lost, come back to this truth. I am love, I am loved, I am loving. Say it slowly. Let the words echo inside your body. Let them become the rhythm of your days. And know this, you are not alone. You walk with the love you've cultivated. You shine with the light you've awakened. You carry within you the power to transform not only your own life, but the energy you bring into every space you enter. This is the gift of becoming the love that was never shown to you. It is a sacred return, a homecoming, a soft and powerful revolution. You are no longer waiting. You are creating. You are no longer seeking. You are embodying. And from this place, everything becomes possible. So let this be your truth. I am the love I've been waiting for. I am safe. I am whole. I am free. And with that, you step forward, heart open, soul grounded, spirit uplifted. You are love. You always were, and now you know it. Let that knowing guide you. Let it carry you. Let it bless everything you touch.